Okay, so just a couple of announcements and shameless plugs. The 19th is the Choir Awards night, and I am performing Cosmic Love by Florence and the Machine, and so I expect all of you that watch this to attend. Whether it's for me or not, I don't care. I just like to see people in the crowd. The 20th, May 20th, is the Wax Museum, and I am performing as John Quincy Adams. And I actually have an assignment to get a couple of anecdotes about him, and so I have them, and I think I shall briefly cover them and see how you guys think it's funny. Um, Included in a list with Harry Truman and Lyndon Johnson, John Quincy Adams enjoyed skinny dipping, and he once went skinny dipping, as was his usual uh, routine in the Potomac. And reporter Anne Royale, noted as the first female reporter in the U.S., um, found out about that, and she kind of took his clothes when he was in there, and he came back, and she demanded an interview, and she wouldn't give his clothes back until she got the interview, and if he got out of the water, she would scream. So she got the interview, and he gave the interview and stayed in the water the entire time. Uh, got his clothes back eventually. um, and then another one is his election in 1825 for presidency. He was running up against Henry Clay, Andrew Jackson, and William H. Crawford, and no one won the majority, the electoral majority. So it was up to New York. It was up to New York to decide the vote, and the House of Representatives was in charge of that. And the New York delegation was split over who it was going to be, Andrew Jackson or my person, Quincy Adams. And General Stephen Van Rensselaer, I think is how you pronounce his name, was the tiebreaker, and he was originally going for. He was originally going to vote for Crawford, William H. Crawford, and Martin Van Buren, who was president before Quincy, um, wanted him to stay that way because he didn't want Adams to get in. And Van Rensselaer couldn't decide, so he prayed that he would be shown a sign to who to vote for, and when he kind of opened his eyes from praying, he saw a ballot with John Quincy Adams' name on it, and he thought that was a sign from God, and he voted John Quincy Adams, and that is how John Quincy Adams got the presidency. It's pretty cool stories. He's a pretty rather interesting man. One of his greatest achievements was movements in the African American rights and anti-slavery. He was fantastic. If you ever heard the Amistad or watched the movie, it's fantastic. Here's a lamp. Sorry for the boring stuff. I've got to do that. So essentially, I'm avoiding the major issue here. It is a sad day in the history of America. My onion has been eaten, so we no longer have a mascot until further notice. So there will be a pocket watchful government shutdown until then, essentially. It's not so much that I won't post anything, but it'll be few and far between until I get a mascot back, which my sister has graciously agreed to crochet me an onion, or attempt to crochet me an onion. So we shall see how that turns out. Canadians. I've heard a lot about Canadians today. A lot about Canadians today. They seem prevalent in my day so far, and it's almost over. It's already 10:44. So, yeah. Ninjas for the win, and remember, it's none of your onions.